Sports Talk with the Cowboy.
Welcome and thanks for riding with the Cowboy. Well, Buck Nation saw a tremendous defeat by the Buccaneers, getting 3 points against the Carolina Panthers and losing 21-3 Sunday in Charlotte. It was a horrendous loss. It was horrendous play on every single position on the field. Coaching was horrendous. Play calling horrendous. Lack of effort horrendous. It was just a mess. The darkest I've ever seen a team under Brady since he's been a Buccaneer. We've got to start walking the plank with some of these players. We've got to get some of these players, we've got to get their attention. They're out of their gaps. They're not playing tough. I don't think they have the physical stamina to beat better players. It's a mess in Tampa. It can't not be a mess and get beat by the Steelers and then go to Carolina and get beat 21-3. Ladies and gentlemen, 21 points against the Chiefs, 18 against the Steelers, 3 against the Panthers. You're not going the right direction. We got a Raven game here Thursday night. It's on TBT Channel 13, also on Amazon Prime. Ravens, Tampa, at Raymond James. The taping of this show is Wednesday. It'll be aired Friday. So by the time you get this program, we'll have played that Raven game. And as we want our Buccaneers to win, but we have systemic issues with this team. We have said on this program since last spring that Jason Light, the general manager of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, needed to go out and get some interior offensive linemen with the retirement of Marpet and Kappa going to the Bengals. And when Jensen was hurt in training camp, that was your interior lineman. Gone. We pleaded with Jason Light to go. He did not. He did not. He went out and signed, beat down Julio Jones, $10 million contract with Russell Gage, and Jason Light thought, that Akeem Hicks, that we had said on this program, was a bust every year he's ever played pro football. Every single year he's been a bust. He's a good player when he plays, yes, but if he's playing 5 out of 10 games, he's only playing half the time. He don't finish the season. That was the person he got to take over for Adonijah Sue. He got Sharinka to take over for JPP. Neither one of them are adequate. Hicks is out and Sharinka is a bust. He is a bust. We can keep him on this team as long as we want. Maybe he becomes a situational player, but as an elite defensive end, he is a bust. But Jason Light did not see his way of getting Tom Brady any offensive lineman. Though I'm not blaming it just on the line. The play calling by Byron Leftwich is atrocious. The leadership from Todd Bowles is horrid. This team is not responding to anyone. We've all played competitive sports, and we know this. When a team quits on the coach, it's time to get rid of the coach. This team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is going to have a first strike with the Steelers, a second strike with the Panthers, and we'll see what happens with the Ravens on a short week. But that's 3 strikes in baseball terms, and you know what that means. That plank goes off of the pirate ship and we put some of them off, okay? And we need to. We had terrible, terrible play calling. We had a 4th and 1 where Byron Leftwich called a play where a pitch from Brady to Fournette, 5 yards from the 1 yard he needed to gain. That means he had to go 6 yards to make a first down. And he was put down before he got there, of course. His play calling is absolutely telepathically bad. You can tell it by the players and their body language that they know it's not going to work, and then when they run it, it's a disaster. But he yet still calls the same plays. Chris Godwin has not 100%. Chris Godwin has not been 100% since he got hurt against the New Orleans Saints, and we've seen a piece of what Chris Godwin could do with a couple plays with the Dallas Cowboys, the first game of this season. After that, he's out there, but he's not 100%. He's not 100%. And Mike Evans had a 63-yard pass at the third play of the game that landed in his arms. Boom. There wasn't even a defender in the camera shot. He's done it asleep a million times. He ran under there. The ball falls into his arms. Looks like he throws it up out of his arms and misses it. He could have walked into for a touchdown. That would have set a tone for the Bucs because they're fragile. This team's fragile. A fragile team is not a competitive team. This team is not competitive. That's sad. They're not getting beat. They're not competitive. And it goes back 100% to the leadership of the team. The players have to play, but the leaders have to lead or make changes. And if the team is not functioning properly, they need to make changes. This team refuses to make those changes. We got a big game against Baltimore, Lamar Jackson coming in Thursday night. We've got JPP, the player the Bucs let go because they said he couldn't play anymore. Went and got his shoulder fixed. His quote yesterday was this when he arrived in Tampa. I love the people that I'm going to play against. I went to war with them and won a Super Bowl. But they quit on me. And they thought I couldn't play anymore. So when I play them Thursday night, I'm going to want to show them I can still play. And that's bad news for the Buccaneers, because he's going to come get somebody. You can take it for what it's worth. This team's terrible. Luke Geineke is the worst left guard in football, and Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich continue to let him play. They had another guy to take his place last week. They bring him in, they let him back. It would rotate guards. Have you ever heard of a rotation of guards? It's ridiculous. The offense cannot get untracked. The defense cannot stay in their gaps. The secondary has no idea where they're supposed to be. These plays are 60-yard gashing plays. The Panthers ran 200 yards on the ground Sunday. You say Christian McCaffrey had a good game. He's not there anymore. You say, well, Robbie Anderson there? He's not there anymore. They caught the ball and ran on us like they were superstars. This team is dysfunctional. This team has no leadership. This team has no players that want to go out there and give it that extra. They don't even want to look in the mirror at themselves and say, I'm going to take responsibility for what I've got to do. They won't even do that. And the coaches will not take responsibility for the failure, as if they can turn the switch on and off. Well, if your team quits on you for 2 games, 7 games into the season, that's not a good sign. We're going to pray the Bucs play tough and good this week against the Ravens. But sadly, I can't tell you that I believe they will. I don't know why I would think they will. They've made no changes to what they've been doing. Why would they? Why would they play any better? They've not made any coaching changes, personnel changes. Maybe they'll have a different, complete offensive scheme when they go out. These aren't players that are having to learn a new system. Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, and Bowles, the defensive coordinator, now head coach, have been with them for 3 years. These players have all been together. They won a Super Bowl together. They know how to play the system. They just don't want to play hard. And some of them aren't physically able to be good enough. Hicks is not good enough. Sharinka's not good enough. Shaq Barrett's not good enough. And Devin White, our great linebacker, the last month has not been good enough. Our secondary's not good enough. We miss Jordan Whitehead. We miss Ron Gronkowski. We're in terrible, terrible shape. And Jason Light, the general manager of this team, following this show next week is the last of the week for trading, needs to get on the telephone and get some players into Tampa to make a run to win a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. When I told a friend of mine it was 21-3, he said, you mean Brady could only score 3 touchdowns against the Panthers? And I sadly said, we only scored 3. And then he just couldn't believe it. Thought I was joking with him. That Tom Brady, the greatest player that's ever played the position, cannot get a team in the end zone. It's a bad situation over there. We're going to hope things go better. We're going to hope that Keyshawn Vaughn, the running back, there's a sighting of him and he gets on the field. Gianardi Bernard gets on the field. This Rashad White, they say, oh, we got to get Rashad White in the game. Look, you don't have two more backs. Get anybody in there, but you got to have blocking. Got to have somebody to block. So we're going to keep watching that. We're going to keep watching the Bucs and hope that they beat the Ravens on Thursday night at Raymond James Stadium. And now we're going to go to baseball, where the Houston Astros defeated the New York Yankees and swept them, and the Philadelphia Phillies defeated the San Diego Padres. For the Astros and the Phillies to set up for the World Series that starts Friday night in Houston. That's Friday night in Houston. It's the Astros against the Phillies. That's what's going on with baseball. And so now we're going to take your questions tonight. And the first question is from Jackie. And Jackie wants to know, and she's from Winter Haven, what changes should the Bucs make to change this team up? Jackie, they need linemen that block. They need toughness on both sides of the ball. Adonican Stu is still babysitting his two children. I'd make a phone call to him. I'd get some guards in there to play that are tough, because we're getting ate alive. So, Jackie, we've got to make personnel changes. We've got to make changes in the coaching. We've got to make changes in Byron Leftwich. He's got to be gone. We're going to have to shake the tree. That's the only way to get these players' attention. These are millionaires. Their attention's real. They're rich. They got rings on their fingers, and they're not concerned with playing hard. Some of them don't have the ability. Sharinka doesn't have the ability to be a starting premier defensive end. He's no good. Okay? Jason Lott's got to admit it. He's got to admit it just like O.J. Howard. He's got to admit it like other bad picks he's made. But we need a defensive end that can get around the corner and go. Carl Nassif, Jackie, I'd put in to start. I'd put Nelson on the side and take Shaq Barrett, the great big money Shaq Barrett, and set him on the bench for everybody to see, if it was me. Okay, that's the first thing. I'd get a new left guard in there. Greinke would be on the bench. They'd be a player in Tampa on a plane, if I had to send a private plane to get him in that $1 place, and he'd be on the field. Somebody can block. So that Brady feels comfortable enough to throw it accurately enough to hit the receivers out that are running the routes. And that the running backs could run through the holes that don't exist now, Jackie. There's got to be changes made of players, and there's got to be a great shake-up to shake the whole team a little bit. That's what I'd do, Jackie. God bless you, and thank you for your question. The next question tonight is from Rob, and Rob wanted to know what I thought of Byron Leftwich's play calling, and Rob, it speaks for itself. He was a good play caller as long as Bruce Arians is telling him what to do. He's too hard-headed to believe in his press conference this week to even believe something's wrong. We're calling the right plays, they're just not executing them well. You're not calling the right plays, Byron. Your team is terrible. You look terrible. And anybody that has any idea of hiring him as a new head coach somewhere, please, I'll save you the grief. Don't hire him. He's terrible, okay? And don't hire Todd Bowles as your head coach either. Thank you for your question. And now we're going to move on to Phyllis. And Phyllis is from Sarasota, and she had a funny question. And she said, what did you think Mike Evans thought when he dropped that ball? I think he had caught him so many times, there's no way he could have dropped it. You know, it's like when we do things, we know how to do things, and they come as second instinct, and I think it was a second instinct. He was by himself. He was unopposed. He was running, and the ball dropped in his arms like a baby from a second-story window. And he just kind of tossed it up in the air and ran on by it. It was bad. So I think he kind of felt bad the rest of the game. You know, he said that it let him down. He felt a let down because he knew he had that touchdown. And it kind of shocked me that it let him down that way because, you know, you got to forget it and go on. Got to laugh or cry, and sometimes when I'm laughing when the Bucs are doing bad, it's because I don't want you to see me crying. So I appreciate your question, and God bless you. And I hope you're well down in Sarasota after that hurricane. DJX, what do you got for me tonight?
Well, Cowboy, you know how we do it. Let's get right off into it, buddy. All right. Where does the Eagles defense rank? Top 3, 5, or 10?
Top 5.
Top 5. All right. That was coming from Robert Quinn.
Yep. They're a good defense. They're a good, tough defense. They play tough. They stay in their gaps, and they've got good gap assignment quality. They go in them gaps to stay there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Multiple Buccaneers to miss game versus Ravens Thursday.
Akeem Hicks.
I don't think none of them need to be missing no games.
Akeem Hicks can miss the rest of the year, and he's no better than if he's playing. He's
Wow.
345 pounds to stand there. Julio Jones ain't never going to play.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't never going to play. You just paid him $6 million for nothing. So, yeah, that's the thing on it. And at least those two players and Antonio Winfield are safety. Has hurt himself with a concussion last week. He is out for this next game. He is the actual quarterback of that secondary, and boy, they sure looked bad when he went out the other day.
Yeah, they looking bad. I'm hearing bad things
Bad.
about it. Okay.
Horrendous.
One player each NFL team could trade before the deadline, from Chase Claypool to Melvin Gordon. What you think about that?
Chase Claypool from the Pittsburgh Steelers could be traded. He'd be a welcome sight to the Bucs, but we got to have a lineman to block, or Brady ain't going to be able to do anything. Melvin Gordon, he's been relegated to the third string as a Denver Bronco running back. Heralded coming out of the Chargers a few years ago with a big contract, but third in the depth chart, once out. So I think they're both going to be moved. The word on Claypool is the Steelers aren't confirming that they would move him, but for the right price they would. Melvin Gordon has already asked the team for a trade.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure he's open for anybody to come get him.
So he ready to
Somebody
go.
gonna come get him.
All right. Miami Dolphins. Dolphins lose practice squad. Offensive tackle Larnell Coleman signs offensive tackle Grant Hermans.
Well, Grant Hermans is a good offensive tackle. You need offensive tackles. You need linemen that you can interchange. And in the case of the Dolphins, they're making a run. They're trying to win games, and they are winning games. So I think that's a good deal to put another tackle on there. He's got some experience with the Colts.
Yeah.
He's got some experience with the Giants. So it's not his first rodeo, and that's good.
Can't go wrong with experience. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ravens offensive linebacker Jason Pierre-Paul discusses facing his old team Thursday night. What you think about that?
There you had it. Like I said earlier, JPP said he loved them guys, that it was over on the other side of that field. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers gave up on Jason Pierre-Paul last year. He had to have a shoulder surgery, and they gave up on him. And he went and had it, and they didn't offer him a contract. And now he went to the Ravens, and now he's back. And he's going to tear some people up there with the Bucs tomorrow night, because he said, I love them, and I'm wearing the ring. I know this place because it's my home.
Right.
I played college ball for USF Bulls. I played for the Bucs and won a Super Bowl. But the organization gave up on me. And now I'm back. And I'm in front of the fans that I love in Tampa, and I'm going to show the Buck fans and the Buck owners this. You shouldn't have gave up on me. So you guys at the Buck line, it's terrible, get ready. Because tomorrow night, Jason Pierre-Paul, take it from the Cowboy, is coming to get you. And he's going to get you tomorrow night.
He got a bone to pick.
There ain't no doubt about it.
He got a bone to pick, and I want to see it. All right. Now, this is personal. Do the Bucks not want to win? Is this a broken dynasty?
I think so. I think that the biggest piece of the dynasty that's gone is Bruce Arians.
Yeah.
You've got to have a leader at the top. You got to start at the top with a leader. Todd Bowles ain't a leader. Never will be. Never will be a leader.
Right.
He will be a good defensive coordinator, but a head football coach leader, no. And you say, why do you say that for? Did you see the Steelers beat us with a second string quarterback? Did you see us go into Carolina after getting beat and laying an egg there worse than we did the week before?
Right.
Now, if you got a leader and you go into a team that you're supposed to beat by 18 points and they beat you, and you've had a week now to hear all of it, and you go back to Tampa and get back on the plane and go to Charlotte and lay a bigger egg, do I think there's somebody that's leading this team? No, I do not.
Not even.
Not even close. The end of Mr. Glazier and Light and Todd Bowles' era will be soon if this team goes 6-11. This team's 6-11. Now, hey, we're 3-4. We're not finished because Atlanta's 3-4, and we beat Atlanta. So technically, right now we're leading the division. But if we keep losing, that Vegas said that the Bucks could go 13-4, and tomorrow night we lose and we're 3-5. That's not good.
Right.
That's not good with 9 games to go. And this team is lost like a 3-year-old child in the forest. Lost with no flashlight.
Well, they must be found.
They're going to have to be found. We're going to see if they're found tomorrow night. We're going to see.
We're going to see if they found.
We're going to see.
All right, I'm going to end it off right here. Last week's question was, who would make the World Series? This week's question is going to be, who will win the World Series? And will it be a blowout or will it come close?
I called it. We called it here. Houston, the Phillies. Houston swept the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
They're a better team, man for man, pound for pound, pitching, everything. Houston is the favorite to win the World Series in 5 games. I say the Philadelphia Phillies will win the World Series in 6. Heard it here first.
Heard it here first.
Take your action. Remember me when you win it.
Right on.
Remember, if you'd listened last week, that I said Astro Phillies. We're talking about them in the World Series. So take that action. Merry Christmas.
All right. I'm going to leave it off right there, Cowboy.
God bless you, DJX.
God bless you, too.
Look, we got week number 8 going now with our Cowboy picks of the week. This week's games are Bucks against the Ravens, which is Thursday night. The Patriots against the Jets, the New York Football Jets. The 49ers and the Rams. The Dolphins and the Lions. And the Bills and the Packers. That's the Packers and the Bills. That's the Dolphins and the Lions. That's the 49ers and the Rams. That is the Patriots against the New York Jets and the Bucks against the Ravens. You pick the winners in the comments and send them to us, and you're in the contest. This week's winner was Brian from Lakeland and Tom from Sarasota. That's Tom from Sarasota and Brian from Lakeland. And Brian was the winner with Bill on the first week. So this gives Brian from Lakeland 2 wins on the season. DJX is going to put the playoff standings up in another week or 2 because we've got quite a lot of people that have won games. And we're only 8 games into 17. So we're going to keep you posted on that. And until next show, be good to your neighbor. And God bless each and every one of you for your support. Continue to leave your comments, subscribe, send your questions to us, share with your friends, and be good to each other. And until next time, God bless you, Cowboy out.